I usually hate to show unfinished work because finished work looks way cooler, but I figured it would be nice to showcase my engineering, programming, and game development skills. And the best way to do it is to show my latest project that I've been developing. So this is my current game demo um, with the showcase of the main mechanics and systems that I have implemented. And the game is a narrative-centered detective puzzle game where you talk to characters and they tell you different stories about the world you're in and about the place you're in, and that helps you solve puzzles, and then you find clues and items and find somewhere to apply those items, and it all comes together. uh, yeah, so let's start with the simple stuff. Right in the morning, 5 o'clock, time to chop some wood, I feel like. Yeah, so here are two examples of the items that you can interact with, and you can pick them up. So here's an axe, a beautiful model. You can see that you can rotate it, and there is a field where a description of that item would appear if there was one for an axe. So when you pick up the bones and rotate them, you can see there is a little description. That's handy if you want to know something about an object. And then some items you can apply to certain things. So an axe is logical to apply to this log. So if you come here, bam, you press E, and the universal item application, or whatever it was called, script fires a Unity event with the consequences that I've set up within Unity editor. So in this particular case, it changes the model of the log to a log that was chopped down. And of course, Unity events are very versatile, so you can use this behavior for many different patterns and different mechanics. Because different items do different stuff when you apply different items to them. Yeah, quite versatile. Since my second specialization as a designer, I like to have things not constrain my creativity and let me combine different mechanics and different ideas in crazy ways. So I really like that the systems that I developed are versatile and flexible. And yeah, there is also a door mechanic, so you can open and close doors, which is nice for a game where you have a mansion, you know. Now let's move to a more sophisticated system, which is a narrative system, the game Dialog System, to be exact. I think I will pause the game to showcase you the setup that I have. So to be able to edit the dialogues easily and to have a lot of them, and to also have branched dialogues, I have developed a system that integrates an ink solution to Unity. So I think there is a plugin that lets you read ink files, but I've made a dialog system based on that. So here is an example of how the dialog looks within the ink editor, and then it gets turned into this text file, and then a bunch of those text files together are added to a scriptable object which represents a certain dialog between two entities. So for example, here there is a dialog that a player can has with the old man about a fisherman, and here is a dialog that a player can have with the old man about self, so about the old man. And each text file here is a next dialog level, so basically it shows the progression of the dialog with a particular NPC. So whenever game state progresses, something calls a function that changes the dialog level to the one that you need to update the dialog. And let's see how it all works in the game. So let's say we want to talk with this handsome man over here. So I come here, talk to him, and you can notice immediately that there is this particle effect appearing over certain things in the game. And this particle effect basically indicates the items of interest that you can ask the character about. So you can look around, search for more, but yeah, I only see the bubble around the NPC itself and the two bubbles around those two items. And whenever you hover over them, you can press left mouse button to trigger the dialog with NPC about the object you're pointing at. So let's ask him about this fish bones. Oh, bones, you say? So it runs a dialog, and then you just use currently just the space button to go through the dialog lines. And since Ink supports choices, my game system also supports choices. I don't think you can see it right now in the demo. Maybe if I talk to the... Oh yeah, here you can see a choice of 3. Great choice, I think. Really proud of my writing skills here. Yeah. So, and another feature of the dialog system is that when you talked about something, the option becomes gray, and the text changes from what it is to what was this again, to outline that you've talked about this thing already and you've read this dialog. Yeah, and oh yeah, another cool feature is that if you have a talkable item in hand and you come to an NPC, then game understands you probably want to show this item you have to the NPC, so it automatically triggers the dialog about this item. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's talk about the routine. So you've already seen in the beginning how day and night cycle works. So it was night in the beginning, and then sun raised. I'm dumb. Anyways, morning happened. Morning happened. Yes, and because of that, because there is a day and night cycle, the NPCs actually live their life. They have things that they do during the day. They go to sleep at night. So if you, for example, want this guy to tell you something about this lantern, you better make sure that he gets somewhere near the lantern so that you can ask him about the nearby objects. Otherwise, if he is just busy all day in the mansion and never gets to touch the grass and never goes out, then you won't be able to do that, and you'll stuck and you will not progress with the game, for example. So here right now the guy has an only activity available to him, which is just standing in this particular spot in the world. But whenever I fulfill the requirement for a next activity, which is chopping down this tree. Why, you may ask? For no reason in particular, just because convenient to showcase you the mechanic. So now he will wait a little bit until a certain event fires, and then he'll make up his mind and go fishing, because he's a fisherman and he has to feed his family. And this mechanic is used to create quite complex behaviors. So you can have multiple activities that are equally important, and then the NPC will choose a random one amongst those. It has like a random time duration of the activity, so he can decide to do fishing for half an hour or for 2 hours, and I can set the limits of this time frame in which he will be fishing, but it is made to simulate believable character behavior, because it would be weird, you know, if characters did something during the day the exact same amount of time. So yeah, it allows me to create those puzzles around the characters and their routines and affecting those routines with something that you do. Um, yeah, let's talk about the custom event system that I've built, which is a big piece of um, functionality that I use in many different places within the game. So I use a customly made and developed event system that uses scriptable objects that are all here stored in the folder called events. Um, and I use scriptable objects to handily connect the source of event and the outcomes of event in Unity. So let's say, for example, we have a time manager here that every 10 minutes or every hour fires an event. So either time update or minutes update. And then there are certain game objects with a script called event listener that do care for these particular events and get some information from those events. So let's go to an NPC fisherman, and the guy here has a game event listener. And whenever this scriptable object gets called from the time manager, then the game event listener fires its own response Unity event, which in this particular case updates the NPC script time variable, so that NPC gets the most the most accurate current time from the time manager. This way, if I delete the NPC, time manager is not anyhow dependent on it, and everybody in the game can pick up the time that is needed. And I think this event system, to be honest, is more flexible and handy than using a singleton in this case. And I really like the architecture that I have, because it's quite flexible and versatile. And I think that is pretty much what there is to show. All of that was made by me. I think it's pretty cool, and let's hope together that this game turns out great and hits the Steam page one beautiful day.